Good evening, Abhijit. It's great to have you here. So thanks a lot for taking the time. Thanks a lot for taking this time. I thought it was very important for our APMP India community to get an understanding from you as to what this very interesting exercise is all about. So let's spend a little bit of time. I have a few questions for you. Let's. I'd like to know what you have to say about that, and then we'll release it, and hopefully it will answer a lot of questions that people have. So first off, APMP India's current board, I think most of them, at least some of the members, their tenure is coming to a close in the next several weeks. Is that correct?
Yes, 4 members. So
Oh.
they will be ending their term on December 31st of 2020.
And a typical term is for how long?
It's for 2 years.
It's for 2 years. So the 2 years is actually coming to a close at the end of December, and we essentially have four vacancies in a sense. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
We have 4 vacancies. We have to basically add 4 new members to replace these outgoing members.
and the other four will continue for one more year in the second year of the tenure.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the first time that APMP India has attempted this, and I think I heard you say somewhere that perhaps no other chapter of India of APMP has actually tried to do this, right? So, what was the motivation behind this? What is the board trying to do?
Well, Vasu, the motivation or the drive to do this was that we wanted to have a more empowered community, because unless we empower the community to select the leaders who will set the vision, which will define because this is a professional community, this is a professional body, the community, the vision, the programs, this leadership team will decide or impact the professional career and growth of all the community members. And for that reason, it was very important that we have the community members themselves elect their leaders, rather than inviting nominations and getting those and a few selective members of the board selecting the next set of members. So that's the reason why we thought that since now we have a fair engagement within the community, it is time that we empower the community members so that they understand, like in any democratic process or in a democratic country, like it is the ownership lies with the constituents to choose their leaders. And if they don't choose their leaders, and if they don't choose the right leaders, they are the ones who actually have to bear the outcomes of it.
I think that's a very bold decision. I'm sure a lot of people will find they won't question it, but I'm sure they have some apprehensions as to what it will be. But nevertheless, I think the basic democratic wisdom is that the board should represent as much as possible, the average member, whoever that average member is. So I think it's a great step. Now the question is, how are you going about this? Now I saw a whole lot of LinkedIn post saying, please register to vote. So why should an APMP India member register to vote to begin with?
Right. That's a good question, Vasu. There are two things here. One is that voting, because this is a community vote, and the option to vote or not to vote lies with the constituents. So we need to get their permission that they are willing to vote. Okay, we may not, if we reach out to everyone within the APMP members, every APMP member, and say that you have to vote, probably they may say that, okay, my purpose of getting associated with APMP was only to get my certification done. I am done with my certification. I don't have anything to do with what APMP board does or doesn't do. Okay, but then there is another set of members whom we have seen growing in the last 1 year, who have engaged themselves so much and who have been volunteering, who are now looking at an option of how they can represent themselves within the APMP community. And for them, no, these people may not be everybody. Generally, typically, the thought is that the member, those who get nominated in the board are possibly the thought leaders or represent the executive management of the corporations. I am a bid manager, or I am just a maybe a proposal writer or proposal manager. Even though I may have leadership communities, I may have the drive to do something for the community, but because my position is not that, I may not be a nomination. I may not be a nominee for the board. So we wanted to break that wall. We wanted to break that conception. APMP is an open community, is a community for professionals. Everybody and anybody who is a APMP member has the right to vote, as well as the right to nominate themselves, himself, herself, or his industry peer to be in the be a part of the board. And that is the reason why we are asking this selected, we are asking them to register themselves. And there are a lot of other benefits for them to be registered, because one thing is that it is initiating an action. Now, the registration process itself is getting involved. People are getting involved. Now, if I send out a mail, if India sends out a mail, that is only informing them. But when we are requesting them, asking them to come and register themselves, they are getting involved. They are investing their time, effort to register themselves. In return of that, they are getting their digital badge, which is giving them an identity. Till now, their identity was the APMP membership ID only. Okay. Now, if you see the LinkedIn, in last 2 days, people are creating their own badges. We gave them a template that, okay, this is a template, simple template, upload your photograph, put your membership ID and membership ID, and this will become your digital badge. You don't need to, there are other benefits of the digital badge also, which I will just talk about. But the biggest thing is the identity, that one single badge, one single image is given them the identity, and they are flaunting that out in a social media platform like LinkedIn. What better engagement and what better involvement can we expect from a simple step of asking them to volunteer themselves and register themselves as a voter?
That's very, very inspiring, Abhijit. So basically, I think one of the key messages is I would like the APMP India members not to underestimate themselves. They are actually a very, very influential people in the system. They need to step forward, demonstrate the leadership. All of us have attended leadership programs. We've done various kinds of things. This is an opportunity, I think you agree, Abhijit, for them to be part of shaping their own future as a professional community. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely, 100%. And that is what the core objective is. You are the owners of your own destiny. You are the makers of your own destiny, and you don't have the right to complain if you don't vote.
So what would you say to someone? I spoke to someone. In fact, let me just share with you. I spoke to somebody, and they said, I don't think I have the experience yet. I think I don't have the confidence yet to actually stand for elections. First of all, maybe standing for elections itself is a kind of intimidating thing. It should not be. One should stand up and be respectful of the electoral democratic process. But nevertheless, going back to my original question, if someone says, I don't have the right kind of experience, I'm not ready yet, etc., etc. So how would you suggest that I speak to them? What should I tell them?
So see, there are two things which we need to see. One thing is that, do you have the passion to serve this community, to be a leader, to serve this community as a subsist? This is a non-profit organization. The leadership here, we are looking at servant leadership. The leadership style is servant leadership. Do you have that passion and commitment to be a servant leader? That is the first thing. The second thing is that, do you have at least one problem or one vision which you want to make it happen? Okay, one problem that you can solve, which you think will make a big impact to this community. We have huge, like when we were doing the BPC Asia Awards, for the awards nomination, if you remember, we asked every nominee to list 3 problems which they see in the industry. And we have a list of more than 300 problems with us. Okay. and this list is not and this list is not going to end. We know that there are problems and we need to resolve those problems through policies, through processes, through capabilities. If you think that, yes, I can drive this policy, or whether it's making of a policy, whether it's changing a process, or whether it is building a capability, or even working. And when I say I, it doesn't mean that you alone. It means that we together as this board, can I drive this? If you have that passion, if you have that drive, please do join in. It is nominate yourself. You don't require to be an effective communicator to go stand up and have an election rally, speaking to a mass and asking for them to vote. Rather, what we have done is we have created a candidates page where they can put up their profile, where they can put up their vision, and let people vote on the vision, not on who the person is, what the role of the person is. Even though that is necessary, that is a attribute which is needed. That okay, you should have some background of leadership, but you should have some span of control. You should have some budgetary or P&L accountability, because those give a sense. But those are very minor attributes. The bigger attribute, the larger attribute, based on which the people will be deciding upon your candidature, is your vision, is your passion, is your commitment. So if you have that commitment, if you have that vision, and if you see that, yes, I can drive it, you have that fire in the belly to drive it, you have that fire to roll up your sleeves and get down and be dirty and not be afraid of failing, then this is the position for you. Vasu, you remember when we started, what did we have? Did we have anything? We didn't have any directions. We didn't even have a bylaws. Okay.
No, we didn't. We had nothing.
We had nothing. We were at ground zero, but rather below ground zero. But in this 1 year, where how have we traveled? It is just because we started with a vision. We created the vision, and we created the vision for ourselves, and we followed to that vision, and we did everything what could be done to that vision, and we questioned everyone, including ourselves, that is it aligned to the vision with what we started? The 4 E's: expectation, experience, engagement, evangelism. Everything we do, we ask, is it aligned with that? And today we are adding the 5th E, that is the empowerment.
That's a very, very fascinating and beautiful way of expressing yourself. In fact, let me ask you this question. We spent 1 year together as board members. If someone were to ask us, what are the responsibilities of a board member, number one? And number two, do we have a jet set life? Do we fly in first class from place to place, live in 5-star hotels? Maybe some people think that's the glamorous perk of being a board member. So tell us if this is true.
No, absolutely not. We are a non-profit organization. We live on the rebates we get from the membership from APMP India and some sponsorships. But yes, we are improving day by day. Every day, the size of our the corpus is increasing, with the number of members increasing, with the number of sponsors increasing. In fact, in last 1 year, we have doubled the corpus over on which we were working. When we started working, the corpus which we had, today when we are at the end of the board, this board is closing, the corpus is just double of it. And the good thing of that corpus is that, doubling that corpus, is that we are able to do so many other events. This is the first time that we are coming out with a dedicated budget for scholarships, sponsoring scholarships. We are coming out. We have a dedicated budget for local meetups. We have budgets for. We are taking up so many different initiatives, like revamping the entire website for ourselves, the community app. So all these things have happened with the budgets which we have. Now coming to the point is that is it a jet set life? No, it is not a jet set life. I said it very clearly in the beginning. This is a servant leadership role. Okay. Of course, if you are incurring any expense for, say, suppose traveling traveling to one place to other, depending based on the norms and the rules of the bylaws, you will be reimbursed for that. But more it is about is your engagement, the way you involve and the way you connect with people. That is if you ask me what is my biggest takeaway from this 2 years as a board member, the first year of mine was as a board member, where I was responsible for the webinars, and I think it gave me a great accomplishment to see that the participation and the engagement of the webinars went up by exponentially, not multiples, but exponentially. Okay. We have seen webinars where there were only 3 participants, and we have seen webinars which were stretched for more than 1.5 hours, and we had 100 plus participants. Okay. So that was my first year's experience as when I was responsible for driving the webinars. And in the second year as the chair of APMP India, I think this board, of course, this board has achieved many things which were never done before, and for the first time. But my biggest takeaway is the professional network which I have been able to build, the connect I have been able to build at the grassroots level with every bid manager, every proposal manager whom I have been able to connect, may not be everyone, but with whom I have been able to connect, that relationship, that bonding which I have been able to connect, because that bonding is going to remain whether I am on the board or I am not on the board. That bonding is a lifetime bonding.
So I want to applaud your leadership in this past 1 year, and I also want to make an important point of this thing. We're saying here that we want people with passion, right? That to me, passion is far more important than the other skills, which, in my opinion, can be learned. But if there's no fire, then it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have, how many degrees you have, what is your your resume claims you have done. There is no point. We really want people who are passionate, who want to try out, want to grab this opportunity with both hands and do something about it, right? Also, on this line, I want to say that it's nice to be liked by people, but this role is about leadership, and leadership is not always a popularity contest. I hope you'll agree with me. So sometimes we have the situations where we have to be, I don't want to use the word tough, but at least we have to be very, very objective sometimes, and do things which have to be done. So as part of a board member, it's not only about policy, it's creating the vision, yes, but sometimes also be responsible for taking tough decisions. Do you want to comment on anything I said there?
No, definitely not. Definitely, it is needed. You cannot sit back and watch things going out of your hands. Okay, if somebody is not doing it, step up and do it. Okay, don't wait to think that what would the other person think that I am stepping in someone else's shoes. So you don't have to wait for that. Step up and do it. Nobody, the entire board will support you. Okay, so there is no judgment. As I have been telling you that at times I myself feel that I have been autocratic in some decision making, but there was no option for me. I had to take that decision. I had to do it. And so if it hurt anyone, I'm sorry for that, but I didn't have options. The only thing I have to keep in mind, or you have to keep in mind as a board member, is what is the value I am creating for that last mile bid manager.
We also are very sensitive. I'm sure you'll agree with our professional code of ethics and setting the highest possible professional standards. Because if you are a board member, Abhijit, basically everyone looks up at you, and whatever you say, the way you conduct yourself will be impressions that will be formed over there. So, apart from passion, the desire to engage, desire to keep a vision, we also want you potential candidates to realize that you're actually setting the tone for everybody else. Isn't that the case?
Yes, definitely, yes. And our role, even in our professional role as a bid manager, if I let a bid go out of my hand, if I let a bid slip out of my schedule, I am going to pay the price for it. I have to be aggressive if it comes that if I don't get the quality of content I expect from a subject matter expert, or I don't get the type of support I expect from a delivery team or a solutioning team, I have to step up. I have to raise my voice. I have to ring the bells. It is the same level of aggression you need in the leadership role, that if you don't think things are happening the way you have planned, or the way you or everybody, the board has planned, and it is not happening because somebody is not moving himself or herself for whatever reasons it may be, then you have to step in. You have to step in, or you have to call in for help, and you have to make it happen as a board.
So this is, if you ask me, this is a really exciting opportunity for people. First of all, and as we come to the close of this discussion, I want to ask you, what would be the overall composition of the board? Now, as I understand, please let me be sure that I've understood this. There will be 4 individuals who will be elected from us as a bunch of candidates. There will be 4 who are serving the last year of their 2-year term. Will there be anybody else on the board?
Yes, there will be 3 nominated members, and these nominated members will be from the industry. 1 from the academia and 2 from the industry. And when I say industry, these are industries related to bid and proposal management. They can be a ATO, they can be a product or platform developer, product or platform developer, because we need their support also to give us the market insights at both the ends. At the academia side, what is happening, how we can get into the academia and start building at the grassroots level, as well as from the technology side, as well as from the outside market. So this board, we need constituents from outside. So these will be 3 other nominated partners. So the total size of the board will be 11, which will be including the past chair. And because the past chair, because the chair becomes the past chair, so I will be holding the past chair for next 1 year. So and the other members will be there will be a chair, co-chair, and the other members, and including the nominated members.
That's actually 12, Abhijit. 4 plus 4 plus 2 from industry, 1 from academia, and 1 will be the past chair. Will that be 12? I think, correct? Yeah. So what I want to say is I want to encourage people who are considering it, not quite sure should I not, that when you elected to the board, after you make your case to the APMP India community when they elect you, please remember that you have a lot of experienced people who are there to support you in this transition as a senior leader of APMP India. So don't worry about it. Abhijit is there. I am there. Many others with a lot of experience are there. And our job is to make you a successful, APMP India governing board member. And therefore, on those grounds, on those lines, I want to say, I personally, and I'm sure Abhijit, I echo it for Abhijit, we want to encourage youth. We want to encourage young talent. If you ask me, and we'll be repeating this now for the 3rd or 4th time, skills can be learned. It is a passion, the ability to get things going, commitment, pushing the envelopes, which is, in my personal opinion, far more important. And this is also a direct appeal to people, to the women, APMP India professionals, to please step up. We are very, very committed to diversity, and I think we really want our board to represent what APMP India demographics look like. All right. So this is something I think Abhijit is also very passionate about. So maybe with those particular points, Abhijit, you'd like to make any closing remarks, and then we can close.
Yeah, the only thing I want to make it over here is that this is your opportunity to create a legacy for yourself. What should people remember you for? Okay, when I was when I was working within the corporate, whatever my designation was, possibly there were 30 other people with the same designation. When I look at the industry, probably there are 3 million with the same designation. But the position which you hold in APMP India as a board member is going to be the unique position, the one position. So this is your time, this is your opportunity to create your legacy, why people should remember you and what you have done. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Nominate yourself, showcase your vision. People, if your vision is right, if your commitment is right, people will sense it. The community members will sense it. They will vote for you. You don't have to go and run your campaigns. Be truthful to yourself. Be truthful to the commitment you make. People will vote for you. So don't think of it that this is going to be election and I have to run campaigns and everything. It is not that. Just nominate yourself, share your thoughts, be open, have that commitment, have the passion. Everybody will recognize and everybody will recognize you and everybody will support you for that. That's it, what I want to add.
Thank you very much, Abhijit, for the fantastic, highly motivational talk. And with that, we end this conversation. So, Jai Hind. Okay.
Thank you, Vasudev. Jai Hind.